Hey guys, Eileen here from Homegrown Happiness. Welcome to October's video. So it's quite a late video because I haven't actually done that much in the garden this month. Just been prepping things for summer planting and it's still quite full. So harvesting has been kind of on my list of things to do so that I can make room for summer crops. So it's Labour weekend, which is traditionally when New Zealanders plant out their summer crops because statistics show that there aren't many frosts after this date. But I'm not going to do anything this weekend. It's been pretty cold and my scarlet runner beans haven't come up yet. That's usually a good sign to show that the soil is warm enough, so they need about 15 degrees to germinate, and that's pretty much ideal temperature for most summer crops. So until then I think I'll wait. I've lost my soil thermometer too, which would have been handy to use, but I've got a new one coming and then I'll really be able to tell. But before then I just use the bean test, and I'm actually going to sow some more beans directly now just in case. It's because my scarlet runner beans are like duds this year. So one of the things I really want to do this year is grow way more things vertically so that I can save on space and hopefully like reach sun up higher. So I have this frame here and I'm going to add another one today. And then I'm going to grow some baby bear pumpkins up one, and then I have a couple of other things that could go up the others. Like I want to try a loofah this year as well, just to try it out. It might not work, but no harm in trying. So there's the two archways now, which has just made my garden so much bigger since I can use all that space. So I also want to net the strawberry patch. I moved the strawberries from here down to there, and there was not many plants and they just completely took over. So I quite like this, my little strawberry field. Pretty happy with that. I really made sure that all the gaps at the bottom were filled too, because I really don't want birds to get stuck in here, stuck in this netting. It's actually quite hard to see, it's very thin. So, but I've also left some strawberry plants out so I can share a little bit. They've just spread everywhere as strawberries do, but I quite like it. I'm really fond of ground covers like that because will just help us suppress weeds. Like I've got this orange berry that's just gone wild. It's even covering the stairs. Oh, and some strawberries, but I'm really happy with that. So there's quite a bit still in the garden that's feeding us for now, so I'm quite happy waiting. I am over eating so much Swiss chard and kale, but you know, I'm not complaining. It's delicious, nutritious food. It'll be cool when tomatoes and cucumbers are in season, but in the meantime I'm grateful for what we can harvest. So the seedlings that I have to put out first are ones that I planted in August, so they're quite big already, and they've been moved into bigger pots as they've grown, so they're all happy in pots, and I've just kept them in that little greenhouse that I made, and they are they're not root bound or anything because I've always moved them up, so they're quite happy to stay there a little bit longer until I'm comfortable to plant them out. But in the meantime I've also planted some more seeds inside early October, and they will be planted out in November, maybe some in December, and then I'll just keep direct sowing throughout summer to keep the harvest going. I think it's important to remember to keep on top of seed sowing in summer, because if you just plant that one time then you'll run out after you've harvested from those. So keep that continuous flow going if you want to continually harvest. I just wanted to talk a little bit about my garden and what I have found recently. sometimes it can be really disheartening because of the lack of sun. Like I feel like I'm never going to be able to grow everything that I want, and like maybe we should move, but then we can't afford to move. So I just sometimes feel a little bit that all the dreams that I have might not be realised. But then sometimes it's also just about patience, because this year we have so many plums growing on the Omega plum that I planted. We've had none of them before, so I mean they might not make it, but they have been pollinated. They're all growing fatter every day. We have black boy peaches on our tree that are growing. We have my dwarf nectarine has got fruit. Excuse me. My dwarf nectarine has got fruit on it. We have heaps of lemons. Oh, there's passion fruit flowers that are forming, so I've put the passion fruit, I'll show you guys that later on. I've put the passion fruit, there's one up there, but I've also put it on the back fence, and that's growing really well, and I think that the heat of the black fence is probably helping it as well. And it's got flowers forming, so again, I don't know if they're going to get pollinated or if they're going to actually turn into fruit, but it's little changes like that that show me that it's actually working, and I will be able to grow what I want. I just have to, yeah, be patient and realise it might be a bit slower than if I had a real sun trap. Also hope the fact that this isn't the most ideal section, that it might inspire people who don't have ideal sections to still give it a go and try grow food. Because there are those guidelines online and in gardening books that say, you know, your tomatoes need 8 hours of sun, and melons need 8 hours of sun, but they don't. Like, I don't have as huge of a harvest as if I got 8 hours of sun, but my tomatoes get 6, and we do still have them. And they might not go red as quickly, or not all of them ripen, but then I'll take them off the vine and then they'll ripen them inside. And then our melons, yeah, I'm not going to grow massive watermelons, but we grew a couple of sugar baby watermelons last year, and a Charente variety of rock melon, and I'm going to try that again this year up the fence. I'm going to put some trellises, try build something up there and see if they can climb up there. And yeah, so stuff does seem to work. So those gardening rules, as all gardening rules, can be taken with a grain of salt. I mean, you can only try, and you might surprise yourself. Next month when I start my planting, I'm also going to mulch again. There's lots of weeds popping through the hay that I've got down at the moment, but there's also little seedlings that I want to keep popping through, like cosmos. There's heaps of those. I had them growing last year and they would have self-seeded everywhere. So at the moment I'm just going to hold off with the mulching, because I don't want to get confused and accidentally cover them up. And it's not too bad, like you have to really zoom in to see the weeds, so I'm fine with that. Go for a little walk now and show you what's growing in the garden. If you follow me on Facebook and Instagram, you would know that my garlic got rust. This is like something I've been dreading. I've never actually had garlic rust before. My parents have, though. They had it on their garlic last year, and it grew small bulbs, but they were still really young. But anyway, I have been vigilantly checking this every day, so I literally spotted it when it had one rust spot, and then I removed it, and then the next day checked it again, and then it was the next day, and then it got another rust spot. I've just been checking every day, and it seems to be okay. Like, there's nothing today. Yesterday, not even yesterday, there's nothing yesterday. The day before, there were a couple of spots. I seem to be keeping it at bay. So yeah, I'll just keep doing that and then see what happens, and it'll be interesting to see and compare it to my garlic last year, and see if keeping on top of it this way can actually stop it from ruining my crop. And then next to that, I've just got lots of lettuce and some radishes, and that is where Smiley likes to make a mess. And here I do have a gardening plan, but I didn't bring it up with me. But here I'm going to put zucchini. Last year I had my corn there, but it didn't do super well because it gets a lot of morning sun, and then it just stops by lunchtime. So corn needs more than that. I still grew corn, they were just really little. So I will put zucchinis there, and I really need to get my gardening plan. I'm going to go get my gardening plan. Okay, I'm back. So there I am planting zucchini, and then I also wrote pumpkin because I don't mind if it trails down the stairs. So that one's not going to be a vertical pumpkin, that one can just make its way down there if it likes. And then behind that is where I wanted to try do melons up there, so I'll do some of those quick growing varieties that don't need a very long growing season and see if that works, and then that can that opens up way more space if I can use that up there as well. Then here, this is where my scarlet runner beans usually pop up, and then I'm going to, because this was a whole bed of brassicas in the winter, I'm going to put my climbing beans back there again. Brassicas, like the cauliflower and the broccoli and stuff that I grow here, grow really well over winter, so I'm going to probably plant them there again next year. So I want to put some more nitrogen back in the soil now by putting some beans there. And then, right, we'll start here. So this is the sunniest spot in the garden, and that's where I'm going to put chili and cucumbers, tomatoes, eggplants, and also pumpkins down the edge, because they can again go down my bank, down the terraces, and yeah, take up the space there. And so this is very full but still, so that's why it's fine that I'm waiting until next month to plant out anyway, because I haven't harvested everything. My broad beans are already just coming through, and my cauliflowers aren't really even forming heads there yet, so yeah, I'm quite happy to wait. And then this one here by the blueberries, this archway here, I wanted to put some baby bear pumpkin growing up there. Probably start it from this side, and then we'll see if that covers the archway. I think they were really cool. They grow lots of really little pumpkins that and quite a few per plant, so I thought that would make a nice feature, as well as yeah, cute little pumpkins that they can just be one meal at a time. So this archway here, I think I said before, I wanted to grow loofahs on here, or at least give it a go. Right, and then up there, those are my Christmas potatoes that have come through, and so I'll be harvesting them in December, and then that space will be used for probably more zucchini. I didn't actually write anything down, I just wrote potatoes. So, but that's yeah, that's quite a big space, so I think more zucchini can go there. And then this side here, I have some fennel and some cauliflower, celery and more cauliflower, and then after those are done, I'm going to put dwarf beans down there and some cucumbers here and coming up here. So this bed is pretty much just broad beans and spinach, and then when that's done, I'm going to just fill it with things like beetroot and carrots and leeks for next year, more lettuce and radish and a couple of other quick growing crops. And then here, this is where the yams were last year, so I'll probably be picking out some when they pop through, because you can never really get them all. But I'm going to fill this bed with more dwarf beans. I really like beans, so I want to put those wherever I can. Okay, and this bed here is pretty empty. I have just the remaining carrots in there and some silver beet, and I'm going to just plant more beetroot and carrots and kind of just fill it with some root crops. I don't really do too much in this bed because it's not very good for sun. So, oh, and I do have my asparagus in here though. So they were planted from seed last year. It's the garden so far, and the only thing I'm going to plant really today is some peas and direct sow some beans to yeah, see if they'll germinate. They go pretty quickly when the soil conditions are right, and then when the soil conditions are right, I'll be able to plant everything else out. Earlier this month I planted out my yams, so they sprouted very dramatically in a crate that I had in the kitchen, so they needed to be planted out, and I used some old washing machine innards to plant those in that I got given by my neighbour, and they've worked out, well, they look like they're working out really well. So I didn't want to do them in the ground again because they are so invasive, and I just don't have the space for yams to take over, plus I don't really like digging into the ground, so these washing machine barrels or whatever they're called are awesome. So I'll show you that. So that's them here, and to keep them warm, because I was going to start these off at my parents' glass house, but then I just didn't think that they'd be very easy to move, so I just kept them here, and then I actually kept them warm using this this is like wool, so it just insulates them, and so at night I put that on there, and then it protects them from frost as well. And then next to them I have potato bags for just, can never have too many potatoes. And then here is my passion fruit vines, and they're looking really happy. They've grown so much since when I first got them. I'm really hoping to get some passion fruit from them. And that's where I'll end today's video. I'll have more stuff to show you next month when I start my planting, but for now I'm pretty happy with the progress of everything in the garden, and things are going along much faster now that there's a bit of extra sun, so that's awesome. And as always, thank you for watching. See you next time.